Good afternoon and welcome to the Carry with IFTA training. My name is Andy. We're going to get started today by showing you a few of the setups and then how to create our loads. Once we've created our loads, how to go to IFTA, how to import our loads, go to trips, verify our loads, how to add our fuel, and how to create a quarterly tax report. Okay, so starting with admin, we are going to go to trucks. We're going to make sure when we add our truck, we put a truck number and a truck type, such as Freightliner, Peterbilt, Kenworth, etc. Anywhere you see a red asterisk is a mandatory field and is required. Okay. You are then going to select IFTA. Okay. You're going to select the fuel type, either reefer, gas, or diesel. You're going to include this truck for IFTA, and you're going to select your state that you're registered out of, and you're going to save it. Once saved, you'll see a green check mark with a green circle with a white check mark, excuse me. Make sure that you include this truck for IFTA. If you do not, you will see a red circle with a white X. Okay. Now that still makes it the truck's available to use, but not for your IFTA reporting. Okay. We are going to then exit out of there, so that sets up our trucks. We are then going to go and create a load. When you create a load, you need to have your bill to customers information in there, so we're just going to put in some fictitious information. Okay, tab over any picks and drops. You can add your P&Ds, fuel surcharges, other charges, etc. We are going to select our driver. Okay. If you have anything that's expired, you need to fix it. You can click on your little blue dot and you can change his expiration dates or hers. You're going to select your equipment type. Okay. Now, in the cases that you create a load and you haven't assigned a truck or trailer, you can then save the load to your dispatch board, and once a driver comes available, you can then come inside of the load and add your truck and trailer. Once you click on a truck number, it's going to bring up a suggested start location. So the last trip that driver has done was in Penetanguishene, Ontario on the 14th. Okay. I am then going to select his trailer number. I'm going to go in and create a trip. I'm going to say he's picking up at Beacon Bay Yacht Sales in Penetanguishene, Ontario on the, well, let's change that date just to make sure my days are all correct. I can just say 15th. It is important to use your times and dates correctly to sequence the order of the date. Okay, I'm going to say he's picking up a 56-foot Viking. I'm not going to put in any other information there. And I'm going to have him deliver that at Viking Yacht Sales in New Jersey on the 16th. Okay? Use your times and dates correctly to sequence the order of the load. Okay, and I'm going to say he needs to be there at 6 a.m. I'm going to quickly run my miles. I have 0 empty miles because the driver emptied in Penetanguishene, Ontario and reloaded in Penetanguishene, Ontario. I will show you how you can add extra miles when we import this load over. Okay, so we're going to say OK. Once the load is saved, and then you should be doing this on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Basically, when the dispatcher completes this trip, it is going to move that over to your completed section. You're then going to go to IFTA, trips, okay, excuse me, IFTA, import loads. You're going to import that load. It says once the selected loads are imported, you will need to verify that the routing and miles are correct. Open IFTA trips located the appropriate truck and verify each trip. Once you have verified that the trip is valid, you can click on verification icon for that trip. We're going to select OK. It has now imported it to IFTA trips. We select the quarter, select the truck number, and now we're going to go in and we're going to run the auto miles, because at this time we have no miles for that trip in our IFTA. We're going to click on auto miles. Once it has run the miles, I'm going to verify the trip. Okay, I'm going to click on the pencil. I'm going to see that we emptied out in Penetang Machine, we reloaded in Penetang Machine, and we went to New Jersey. Okay, you don't always need to have two of them in there if it's duplicate. I can delete that. Click Save. It's now saved the trip, it's verified the trip, and now you see we have this red triangle. It says this trip starting odometer does not match any of the previous trip ending because I did not use the truck's odometer reading when I created the load. Okay, so when you're inside of a load, you could put in the truck's odometer reading. I wouldn't suggest it. Where I would do it is at the beginning of the quarter. I would take my last truck's odometer reading, and then I'd run my miles, and then I'd copy and paste. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to just copy and paste from the last trip. Click enter, and it's got my miles and they're verified. You do not see that triangle anymore. And now in the cases that I need to add more miles, I can click on the pencil. I can see when Ontario, New York, PA, New Jersey. See, in the cases his odometer reading does not end that way when he ended up in New Jersey. But say he put on an extra 100 miles, two places. I can either do it here, I can put it here. Okay, it's going to change my trip ending odometer. Okay, and now when I save that, the odometer reading has changed. Again, when I create my next trip, I can copy and paste it. Okay, we'll just quickly, you can do it however you wish to. I can go here, copy, I can create my next trip. So I'm going to select truck number 100. He's in New Jersey. You can paste and enter, saving you from having to try to remember it, and then create your next trip. Okay? Or just do it as I have inside by clicking trips, select my truck number, and then I copy and paste and bring it down. Okay? So that's how you create your trip, how you import the trip, and how you verify the trip. Okay? Now what we're going to do, two places you can enter your fuel. You can either enter it inside of the trip itself by going into the little fuel pump to the right of the truck number. I can enter my fuel in here, trip by trip, or I can go to IFTA, fuel receipts, select the quarter, select the truck number, and start adding my fuel. Okay, so we're going to put in some fuel here. I'm going to select the October 14th. Okay, what is important is you have your fuel receipts, or excuse me, your receipt date, the state purchased. So we're going to say Ontario, Canada. Gallons or liters. Okay, and the dollar value. If you do not know the dollar value, just put in a 0. We do have the capability of putting in a receipt number if you have it, you wish to do so. Okay, you can put in the station. It could be like Husky. All right, these are options that you can put in, but what is required is the date, the state, liters or gallons, the volume, and the value. Again, if you do not know value, just put in a 0 and make sure you save your changes. Once you save your changes, you can go on and add your next fuel. Okay. Again, you can do it either inside of the load or you can do it in here through IFTA fuel receipts. Okay. Make sure you always save your changes before you exit out. The changes will be done. At that point in time, you are going to go to IFTA, quarter's over. We're going to click quarterly report. We are going to select the quarter. I'm going to just select 2014 Q3 because I know it is done. You can select the state that you're registered out of, either California or Florida, wherever you're registered out of, and you're going to click generate. It's going to say you are about to generate a IFTA quarterly tax report. Please take the time to carefully reveal all fields and ensure everything is completed to the best of your knowledge. By continuing, you accept the full responsibility of the validity of the miles entered, the fuel receipts entered, and the correctness of the IFTA form being generated, and the accuracy of each total dollar value. Do you wish to continue? We're going to say okay. This is a bit of a disclaimer just stating that it is your responsibility to make sure that the information that you put into the system is correct to the best of your knowledge. Okay, we are going to open it up as a printout PDF. And we're going to go in and we're going to verify the trips. Okay, we are going to make sure we get the right quarter for our dates, tax period. We're going to make sure our company name and information are in there correctly, our IFTA account number, and then we're going to take a look at the form. We're going to see we've got 41,824 miles, 3,093 gallons of fuel, and our average fuel mileage of 13.52 miles per gallon. Don't be fooled by this and just print it off and send it in. This would be incorrect if it is a tractor trailer. Okay, most trucks are running between 4.5 to 6.5 miles per gallon. On a good fleet for 6.5, maybe 7 on the odd truck here or there. It would not average out that way on a bigger fleet. Okay, it is important to make sure that your average is correct. If I was to send that in, this would trigger quite possibly an audit. They're going to wonder, how are we getting such great fuel mileage? Okay, and then you're going to scroll down and you have your instructions on how to read it and complete the form. But most of all, you're going to start going through and you're going to make sure the states that are showing are the states that you've traveled through. The state that's at the very top of the form is your home state, and then all the other states and provinces will go in alphabetical order from there on down. What you're making sure is like, yeah, 6,497, well, I'm based out of Florida, so that should be right. Alberta, Alabama, Arizona, BC, California, Delaware. Just say in the cases that you're looking at this Delaware, 68 miles. This here is telling me, like, just say I didn't go through there. You would need to go into the trips. And when you verify your trips, you're looking at the states that it's traveled through. This should give you an indication at that point that, oh, we didn't go through Delaware. I have to make sure I run the trip around. So if it didn't go through Delaware, more likely it went on the outskirts of PA. Okay, Georgia, Iowa, Illinois, etc. And again, you're looking through, making sure everything is correct to the best of your knowledge. While you're looking at that at the same time, let's just go up top. You're looking at some of your fuel purchases, like I've got 600 gallons of fuel, I have 132, and again, you're making sure, okay, did I buy this fuel? Okay, again, it is important to make sure it's correct to the best of your knowledge. All right, if you see something that jumps off the page, say you had 8,000 gallons of fuel in California, it's like not a chance. Did you buy 8,000 gallons for only 584 miles? That could mean you have a clerical error. It's easy to happen. Okay? All right. So once you've read the report and everything's good to the best of your knowledge, you're going to go up and you're going to print it, you're going to complete it and send it off. This would be your IFTA quarterly tax report. By the way, there is some generic forms. This is actually a state of Florida form. Okay? They will allow you to print this and send it off once filled in. There is some forms that you're going to notice in different states that are generic forms. These forms, in most cases, you're going to have to take the information that's on them and transpose it onto the actual state's form. The reason we do not have it is they would not permit us to have it. Okay, that they expect you to do it on their forms, handwritten on, again, their forms, coming right directly from you. There is some states that you do electronically. Okay, again, you're going to take the information written here and then you're going to type it into the online areas. Okay, Again, this here is not a generic form, but keep in mind, watch for that. Some of the states, and I do not know the states of which ones are generic. All right. So once you've created your PDF and printed it out, send it off, you're all good to go. All right, so you can print that off as many times. You can actually go back inside, go to IFTA, go to your IFTA trips, select your truck numbers. I just go into a state and start. You can redo some trips if you need to. You can go inside and you can fix ones that might have errors. Okay, so I'm looking through and say I have an error. Or again, as I spoke to you before, say from this here trip, 5842 Penetang Stream to Penetang Stream, 3200, 3720. I'm looking inside, see why there's so many miles. So I see I went from Penetang to Detroit to Coconut Grove to Penetang. So it's basically a rounder. Okay, you're going to notice in the cases I went from Penetang to Detroit, it's going to have Ontario miles and Michigan miles. If I go from Michigan to Florida, it's going to show me Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. The reason why that we have Detroit in here is because he ran that trip from Penetang, Ontario to Detroit, ran 75.7. Well, on the way back, quite possibly he didn't have a boat on, but he came back empty. He went Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. He came back up this East Coast. That's just straight through the center. Okay, this is up to you to make sure that the trip ran the right way. Just because when you created your trip, let's go inside of a trip. Where was that one again? Here, right here. Just because you created the trip from Penetang to Coconut Grove to Penetang does not mean it's going to calculate the miles the way you expect them to. Okay, it doesn't know which way your truck went. It's going to take the practical route by pro milers from Penetang, Ontario to Coconut Grove, Florida, which would run it down the eastern seaboard. Okay, and then from Coconut Grove to Penetang, it does not see the extras. So again, it's important as the trips happen, go inside of your trips, verify each one as it happens. Saves you a lot of time at the end and makes it easier. Okay, so then I went in, I knew from Penetang, Ontario, he went to Detroit. Okay, because it wouldn't take the size of boat that he was carrying across the Buffalo Bridge. All right, click save, and away you go. All right, so that's how you create your trips, go into trips, you verify your trips, you can add your fuel, do your IFTA quarterly tax report. We do have 3 other reports which you can create. A monthly mileage report. This here will open up, let me just grab a different month, something that might have more in it. Okay, so this here is going to create a mileage report for just the month, and it's going to open it in an Excel spreadsheet. Hopefully this computer has an Excel spreadsheet on it. Just bear with me one second. There we go, good. Okay, so once it opens it up, oh, I didn't think so. Oh, there we go. Oh. Sorry about that. Give me one more second here. It's difficult when you use a different computer and not everything works on it. IFTA monthly mileage report, again, it's going to open it up in an Excel spreadsheet. It should show there. There we go. Okay. So this is how it's going to look on an Excel spreadsheet. So we have the truck numbers and then you have the multiple trucks. It's showing all of the states it has traveled through for that particular month. So for the month of October, this is how you do a monthly mileage report. Okay, this is for your purpose only. Some people use this to do a to do like your what do you call it, IRP. So what you do is you can copy and paste each month. Okay, so you can maybe have 12 months, and then you're going to go across all of Alabama's, and then I'm going to do a total mileage. Okay, that's how you'll do that. We're going to exit out of there. All right, so there's your IFTA monthly mileage report that opens up in an Excel spreadsheet. You're going to go to IFTA. We have a truck fuel report. This again is going to open up, so I'm going to open up 2014 Q3 truck 100, just this truck only. Okay, it's going to open up a PDF printout that I can view. And a lot of times people use this just to show the owner operators or their drivers, look, like truck 100, you've done 39,602 miles, how much fuel you purchased and what your average fuel mileage is. And showing them the states that they've traveled through and quite possibly places that they've probably over purchased fuel and they don't need to purchase that much. You know, again, you can use this as a tool to help you. It's like where you buy your fuel purchases, etc. So in this case, he bought 800 gallons for 584 miles. Probably didn't need to buy that much fuel. Okay, he had a tax credit of 754 gallons of fuel. Okay. Some states does not distribute from one state to the other, so it could have just been over purchase of fuel for nothing. All right. So that's one of the reasons you could use this, and then you can help learn with your drivers how to keep track of where they're buying their fuel and if it's good for the company or not. We're going to exit out of there. We're going to go to IFTA Road Use Report. You have 4 states in which you need to do a separate filing. They are New Mexico, Oregon, Kentucky, and New York. So again, we're going to open up. And this is for your purpose and your purpose only. Okay. Again, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, and Kentucky. So what we've done is we brought all the miles together from all of the trucks, saving you from having to go through the report and try to pull it yourself. Okay, and again, that's a road use report, and it covers you for the 4 states in which you need to file separate taxes. This is not the IFTA taxes, this is a separate road use tax. You still file New Mexico, Oregon, New York, and Kentucky on your regular report. Okay, so at this time, that pretty much concludes us for our Carry with IFTA training. We do have under help training videos. Feel free to go and watch the training videos to assist you with further training. Like again, if you wish, the Carry with IFTA training or the setup, how to set your wrong place. Sorry. IFTA, how to enter your IFTA trips, how to set your account up, how to print an IFTA report out, how to enter your IFTA fuel. Okay? All right. Thank you again for participating and have yourselves a great day.